Out of absolutely nowhere, Christopher Nkunku is a favorite to sign for Bayern Munich, and right now we are trying to engineer a move for Mathys Tel. Big things are set to happen in January. Hit that like button and let's break down today's massive updates and massive stories. And I'll discuss the latest exit news at the end of today's reports, because I think right now, get the updates out the way, let's discuss the massive breaking developments involving Nkunku and Mathys Tel. Reports are broken everywhere, from Romano to Plettenberg to many notable outlets in Germany and the UK. But currently, Bayern Munich won't Christo Nkunku. And at the moment, reports have been revealed suggesting that we have held talks over the possible availability of Mathys Tel, as we have made inquiries for the young attacking player. But to start with things, let's focus on Nkunku first, then we end on Mathys Tel. Does seem like Bayern believe that Nkunku is a great option for them. Nkunku has already said yes, and courtesy of Florian Plettenberg, Nkunku has already agreed verbal terms with Bayern Munich. Nkunku has realized that there is no space for him to play here, and literally Maresca reiterated the same facts yet again for like the second or third time this season by suggesting that due to Cole Palmer, it's hard to fit in Nkunku and it's hard to fit in João Felix. Nkunku has his own personal ambitions. He wants to become part of that French World Cup squad in 2026, so he has to play, and Bayern Munich provides an incredible opportunity for him to be able to compete at the highest level, of course, as he's entering his prime years and he's going back to a league that he already knows inside and out. Now, Plettenberg reveals that Bayern won and Nkunku regardless of any operations that would potentially see Mathys Tel coming our way, and they want to sign him on a permanent deal. No loans. They're here to keep Nkunku. Plettenberg reveals that buying just included Tel in the deal, as an idea to maybe make the transfer a bit easier. And I guess that could potentially offset costs, of course, if Tel did agree upon signing for us, and coming the other way. Now it's interesting to see how Nkunku could fit at Bayern. Maybe Kane up front, Nkunku behind, Musiala on the left side. You know, crazy things have happened, but the fact that buying Nkunku on a permanent deal and that verbal agreements have already been reached with the player, that should probably excite our directorsm because we potentially are getting in significant income now, and we can redistribute that back into bringing in more recruitment for the 1000th time. So now we focus the next big part on discussing Mathys Tel. Because, at the moment, there are these exploratory talks around a potential swap deal, but swap deals are incredibly difficult to pull off because it needs every single person involved to be on the same wavelength to want the same things. And that never tends to be the case in this game. Mathys Tel recently had conversations with Vincent Kompany, saying that he wants to fight for his position. He wants to make it at Bayern Munich. He isn't the only Bayern youngster, either full-back and as new as well. Yesterday he was left unused, not even on the bench for Bayern, giving us hopes of signing him. Bayern are trying to push him out on loan. He wants to remain and fight for his spot. So if the player doesn't agree to sign for us, nothing can go through. But at least it's reassuring to know that even if that never happens, Bayern still have the money to explore signing Nkunku on a permanent deal. At the moment it would seem like we would have to make a very big charm offensive to persuade Tel to sign for us. You think it could be simple, right? If we promised him minutes as a number 9 because maybe it's just time to share my at this level so fast is that physically he had everything right, and I hope you guys can kind of envision what I'm saying, but he has that type of body mass, similarity. That a 9 would have, 6 foot stocky, not too lanky, not too thin. But physically, you're about, you can assert yourself, you're not getting bullied off the ball. And it's almost as if he has the body of someone in his 20s. As a teenager already, Tel still has the same energy to remain at Bayern now, knowing that they're already looking to sign Christo Nkunku. Because once he comes, that essentially says goodbye to any possible minutes for Tel this season. Because already, the minutes he's got this season compared to his time on the Thomas Tuchel, you can't compare it in nearly appearances, only 2 stars. The others have 9 sub-appearances. He's got no goals. He's got no assists. And he's actually regressed as the season's gone on because he's been suffering out there. He's been played as a left midfielder and left winger. That's not necessarily his best position, even though he can play there and even though he was used there at times under Thomas Tuchel. But he was seen as the next big striker talent in France. That's the position he wants to play in. When people talk about Tel, you still think about him as a number 9. So unless we're really offering him that competition, strike a role alongside Nicholas Jackson, then I wonder if we could have something go through, because lesser clubs like Villarreal and many others, they've expressed intent on signing Tel on loan. And listen, if we don't agree to anything for Tel, Bayern would probably still be open to allowing the sell to leave out on loan. But it's also kind of interesting because, listen, and technically Nkunku's like our leading top scorer, even though it feels like his goals have no calories, to be honest, because they all came in very easy games.